so I can justify it.
I think something that comes out of that, you saying that, Marshall, that you're looking at cards that you wouldn't necessarily be very happy with.
Yeah.
And when we talked to the 8 before the draft, there was a feeling of not many people were going, yes, my deck's amazing. Arguably, we thought maybe David Ochoa's deck was very good. But there was a fair amount of, well, yeah, I have a deck, it's Blue-Red Burning Vengeance, and it's kind of all right, but I kind of fell into it, and I wasn't really happy with it. And there was Green-White, but yeah, I didn't quite get the ones I wanted, and Blue-White, but I didn't quite get the ones I wanted. So, it's starting to look like perhaps the packs weren't that strong all around the table.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we certainly heard that as a common theme for players. Hey, Marshall, I want to thank you so much for sitting in with us. It was a great pleasure to have you here for the quarterfinals and the semifinals.
Well, I really appreciate the opportunity, and thanks for having me.
And by the way, if you want to hear more of Marshall, you can go to MTG Cast. He's got an amazing podcast that he does. You do it every week.
Yeah, we do it
every week. How the hell do you do it every week?
Every week.
That's crazy.
We're on show 114.
So yeah, there's 114 shows. It's about limited. It's limited resources. It's him and John Laux. Yep. It's really great. John Laux, actually one of my favorite Magic players.
He's one of my favorite people.
Yeah. I wouldn't go that far. But thanks a lot.
Yep. Thank you.
All right, and we're underway here in the finals of Grand Prix Austin. Raphael Levy's on the left. You got Pat
there
Cox
he is.
on the right.
I have Patrick Cox on the right. There he is. 2 of the premier players.
So Raph's come out very quickly. Doom Traveler, Invisible Stalker. Oh.
Selfless Cathar.
It's like, yeah, you know what? If you want to kill anything, feel free. So Deadweight takes down the Selfless Cathar.
In comes the Levy team. Ding, ding, ding. You want one of those little bell sounds as the life totals tick down, don't you?
No blue for
No.
Pat. And a lot of Pat's deck relies on blue.
Yeah, he's going to get badly punished for this, potentially. Abby Griffin comes down for Levy.
But he's behind the curve of having his Strange Assistant or having his Armored Scab, which is stocking his graveyard and letting him really get fortified.
Yeah, I mean, Armored Scab here comes down, deals with a Traveler, but will then provide Levy with a Spirit back the other way, and 3 will get through. That's precisely the play. Cackling Counterpart has gone to the graveyard, couple of lands, and an other. Not quite sure.
I think it might be an Abattoir goal.
Ah, right, yeah.
Maybe.
So Pat still has 2 swamps open.
Victim of Night for the flyer.
And this is exactly the same situation Raphael Levy found himself in playing the last game of Magic of the weekend at the last European Grand Prix of the year.
There's Geist
Honored Monk.
Getting down to business.
Whew.
Like, where is
6, and a little grimace from Pat there. I have a 1/4. That's exciting.
I have a 6/6.
Deranged Assistant.
I can block it with my Deranged Assistant. That way I'll get a creature in my graveyard.
Yay.
And it's going to be a makeshift mauler, I'm guessing. No, it's Grasp of Phantoms.
Yep.
Puts the
Stick
flyer
the
on
Abby
top.
Griffin on top.
Yep.
Which Levy will not play before combat. So Geist Honored Monk +3 come in. And this is not taking long at all. Levy with, we know the Abby Griffin. 5 mana available. So does he just recast it?
He doesn't have to do anything.
Oh no.
And he doesn't.
Just says, are you dead?
He says, maybe I have a counter spell.
of the 3 or the 5 variety.
Yeah. Or both.
Yes. I'll put a Scarb into my graveyard. And shortly after that, I'll shuffle up my permanents, one imagines.
He's going to play a makeshift Mauler. I'm guessing, no? It's not a makeshift Mauler.
4 mana,
5 mana.
because of the deranged assistant. Stromkirk Patrol, 2 mana left. And he adds another deranged assistant. There's Lost in Mist. Counter that. Bounce
your
that.
blocker. Yep.
Oh, wait. Look at that. Who knew?
Ralph Levy has been all business.
Yeah.
He as you said, he came here to win a trophy.
Absolutely. Do you know, I think the interesting thing is this is a thing, we've talked a lot about players away from the cards and how the cards reflect who they are. And something that's changed with Ralph Levy, I can't remember exactly where he went. I believe he missed a European Grand Prix. And, so obviously he must be dead.
Call out the search party.
Absolutely. We called out the search party. Do you know where we ended up? We ended up in Japan. I'm pretty certain, if memory serves. And he had gone to Japan or Tibet or some exotic locale for some very heavy-duty martial arts training. Because he's very into that and very, very good, from what I hear.
Yeah.
Like at a seriously good level, not just kind of
he can
good
hurt
in his
you.
town. Oh, well, that is certainly true.
Yeah.
I think that kind of that whole kind of inner strength thing has really ratcheted up in him.
Is that a recent? Is the martial arts thing a recent development for him, or is that something he's always done?
No, I think the martial arts has been long term, but I think he's suddenly developed a drive with it. And I think when he was leading up to being in the Hall of Fame, the fact of being this amazingly consistent at everything, super awesome player was very important to him. But since then, the fact of merely being better than nearly everyone nearly all the time, rather than being amazing, has grated on him. How about I'm just better than everyone else?
Right, well I mean,
once.
When people talk about him, they talk about it in a way that could almost feel like damning with fate praise.
Yeah,
as the almost like the little brother.
And even we are. I won't include you. But
no. I'm very guilty of it with Raph.
Because we talk to him at Pro Tours, where once again he finishes 12th or 17th, and we say, could you not just start winning all those 8 rounds in a row, 1 round earlier, 1 time? Which is very rude of us, to be fair, or rude of me. And we do it teasingly because we love Raph to bits, and he really wants this very badly.
He's 1 game away. You said, we're saying it's been roughly half a decade since he's won a trophy.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain he had the back-to-backs. It was Dallas Fort Worth, so just up the road.
Right.
He won here. So it was 2 weekends running.
Isn't it like
Singapore?
Yeah.
And it was standing. It was guys might get there.
Yeah. One of my favorite deck names of all time.
Yes.
Pat Cox will not start with those 7 cards. Raph is making no move for his deck.
Presumably, Pat has decided to play on the basis he just doesn't want to give the tempo.
He has to play. I mean,
yeah.
you rarely see anyone not play in draft.
Sure.
It's got to be some pretty extraordinary circumstances. Bad man on both sides.
Well, they're shuffling. A question that occurred to me.
Sometimes you'll see it black-red on black-red, like in a different traditional format,
sure.
Where it's like just the last removal spell and the last creature standing.
And I'll be the last creature standing with the extra card.
Yeah. Sure.
Let me ask you. The format is quite old now. We've seen a lot of iterations of the draft format. And attention is shifting to Dark Ascension. We see the first preview, Jar of Eyeballs, less than 24 hours from now. Well, my question for you is there room for another shift in the draft landscape between now and when Dark Ascension kicks in? Are we seeing the time capsule right now of this is what Innistrad Triple Draft was?
I think when you see Innistrad Triple Draft, you certainly see blue, black, by yourself, green, white, aggro, blue, white, aggro, and then the rest of the decks.
Yeah.
right? And spider spawning is one of the rest of the decks, and blue-red vampires with spectral flight is one of the rest of the decks. So fast start again from Raphael Levy.
This is a key moment, and you saw that pass from Pat. Nothing up to turn 3. Levy has already curved turn 1 and turn 2.
He really wants to put down an armored scab there.
Yeah, I mean,
and not because it's gonna, it's gonna prevent 1 point of damage, but what it lets him do is
start the process,
or maybe feed his graveyard for a corpse lunch so he can kill that spectral rider.
Land number 3 is the right color if you're a French fan. Allez les Bleus. One mana silver inlaid dagger. Equip the Selfless Cather. It's a human.
That's 6.
But Pat has
Snapcaster Mage.
Okay, I'm just gonna trade that off.
Nothing fancy here. Just
No.
just an ambush viper, an ambush mage.
Ambush mage. So for 4 mana,
Right, and that mage serves its function.
Yep.
He's still going to take 4 from the Spectral Rider this turn, assuming Raph wants to equip it and attack.
Raph has a 4th land. It's a 2nd island on the bottom on the left of screen. Well, there it comes.
Yep. Take Pat down to 13.
In a way, the Makeshift Mauler kind of forces Levy's hand towards that single-minded path of it's intimidate, it's big, can I take you that way? Against a different board, you might have seen a different situation there where Raph thinks I need to develop more than one creature against a deck that's going to have removal.
There's the second black. Victim of Nights are now online.
Mm-hmm. And we are online, and it's a great pleasure to be with you around the world watching live or recorded the final of Grand Prix
Live
Austin.
or otherwise.
Live or dead. 2012 Grand Prix Austin final. And Patrick Cox is trying to stay alive against Raphael Levy of France. He has a makeshift mauler.
And there's the Victim of Night.
Victim takes out the Spectral Rider.
He really needed that card there at that moment.
Mm-hmm. And that Snapcaster Mage on what looked like a blank turn 3, but was in fact Paul Conley, he's so sad moment, as it were, where Pat passed the turn and then was able to flash out.
And that's a classic example, right? Like something we always talk about, that idea. You have your Snapcaster Mage, and you have this fantasy of replaying a cackling counterpart, and, countering your Snapcaster Mage and getting a Gold Calls chant and returning 9 cards, and sometimes you just need to just kill a 2/2 or a 1/1,
and that fantasy involved winning a Grand Prix, perhaps,
right.
as a result.
So just attack with the Stitcher's Apprentice. But, and not being too attached, and then, being able to put the makeshift mauler, and suddenly this went from not a game to a game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I believe that is Grasp. Back to the top. The good news for Pat is that he's at 12, so the pressure is, well,
he's at 9.
A lot. He does have a little bit of room for manoeuvre, thinking of the feelings of dread that are still waiting in the wings.
Another Stitcher's Apprentice.
Mm-hmm. Pat has 2 cards in hand. 6 land, 2 cards.
One of those cards is a makeshift mauler that he can't cast based on, current board conditions. And the other is a mystery card. Or the other. That's the 3 cards, one of which is a makeshift.
Mm-hmm. He's going to have to do something with them soon. Passing probably isn't the doing something with them soon. Though we said that on turn 3. In comes the team. And Pat reaches for his scorecard. We moments away from Raphael Levy claiming another Grand Prix title.
An amazing career. This is going to be a battleground, guys? No, it's a...
Creepy Doll.
Creepy Doll?
If there's a counterspell here, there is. It's Dissipate from Raphael Levy.
He says, is that game? Do you have
Patrick
something else?
looks
like, are you?
Patrick lays a land and passes. He's
Please.
going to make you beat me. In he comes.
Oh, Pat was at 5.
Okay.
Not.
So he's at 1. Patrick Cox draws. And that's game, set and match. Raphael Levy of France is your 2012 Grand Prix Austin champion. And doesn't he just love it?
You can hear his high fives echoing across this now largely empty hall.
Vast and vastly empty hall. Raphael Levy of France has done it. He has been so close so many times. Closing in on the all-time professional point leader.
And they're hurrying him off to take take some pictures with the head judge, get his trophy.
And come talk to us with any luck.
Hopefully talk to us before we shut down for the night. Get a